Welcome to the 7th Arrondissement. This district lies on the Rive Gauche, which means it lies to the south of the River Seine, and is probably one of the most famous neighborhoods in the world because it's home to the Musée d'Orsay, the Eiffel Tower, the beautiful sculptures at the Rodin Museum, and many vibrant cafes. In this video, we're going to show you the best things to do in this arrondissement, including hidden gems and where to eat. Les Invalides is a complex of buildings which once housed a military hospital, hence the name. Today, much of the area has been turned into a museum about the army. There's also the Dôme des Invalides here. This is the tallest church building in France at a height of 107 meters, and it's the final resting place of many notable military figures, including Napoleon. Unfortunately, you do have to pay to access the Army Museum, and it's not actually included in the first Sunday of the month free offer. With that being said, you can access the grounds for free, and it gives amazing views onto the Eiffel Tower. We're now going to see if you can visit just the dome and pay for that, because I don't really want to pay to visit the whole museum complex when it's such a nice day out. So you do have to buy the ticket to visit Napoleon's tomb together with the museum entrance, but you can access the rest of this area for free. So unfortunately, we won't be visiting Napoleon's tomb today. Something you can visit for free in this area as well is the Saint Louis Cathedral, because there's a law in France that means that all churches and cathedrals have to be free for the public. This is actually the other half of Napoleon's tomb. One thing that might surprise visitors to the 7th Arrondissement is that Invalides is actually home to the largest colony of rabbits in Paris after Bois de Boulogne, and since 2022 they've actually been protected. If you're looking for a cozy cafe that serves up specialty coffee and delicious plates, including several vegetarian options, then I highly recommend heading to Coutume. Even if you're not really looking for a full lunch plate, I really like their dessert options too. The Musée Rodin is home to 6,600 sculptures, over 8,000 photographs, and over 8,000 prints by the acclaimed artist Auguste Rodin. It was open to the public in 1919. Today, you do have to pay a fee to enter. It comprises of a museum area as well as this open space garden with a view overlooking Invalides. However, if you visit on the first Sunday of the month, then it's completely free. Renoir is predominantly known for his bronze sculptures, and the most famous of them all is probably the Thinker, which is known as Le Penseur in French. It's meant to represent Dante, who is the author of the Inferno. Normally, the gardens look like this and they're all in bloom in the summer. However, at the moment, due to renovation works, there's a temporary exhibit by Dior. There are two main parks in the 7th Arrondissement, the Invalides and the Champ de Mars. To be honest, neither of them are very inspiring, and so the best parks in this area are actually the smaller squares like this one. Despite being home to lots of touristy attractions, this area is truly where a lot of locals actually hang out, and on a clear day you can even watch a game of pétanque in the park. Despite the fact that this area is home to some of the most famous monuments in the world, such as the Eiffel Tower, if you head a little off the beaten tourist track, you'll find some more residential areas, such as this beautiful square where we're the only people here. It's a lizard eating a corn. One of my favourite coffee shop chains in Paris can be found in the form of Noir, who serve up delightful specialty coffees in this cosy setting. Rue Saint-Dominique has been so called since the 17th century, when it was named after a nearby Dominican monastery. Today, it's home to lots of boulangeries and really fancy restaurants, but the main draw is definitely the amazing view onto the Eiffel Tower. Saint-Pierre-du-Gros-Caillou is one of the most interesting buildings architecturally on the road. It's really nice to wander inside as there are a few stained glass windows, and the name actually derives from caillou, which means big rock or boulder, and this is because there once would have been a boulder separating the diocese of St. Genevieve with Saint-Germain-des-Prés on the other side of the area. Another architectural gem of Rue Saint-Dominique is this fountain. It's La Fontaine du Gros Caillou, and it's surrounded by really quaint cafes. The best time of the day to visit is at golden hour, which is now, because it's so beautiful with the light here. Despite what's depicted in movies, there's actually not that many cafes with views onto the Eiffel Tower, and the ones that do have views don't really serve the best quality food, and they're very, very expensive. I've been to a couple and they've never really been worth it for me. Because of our proximity to the Eiffel Tower, there are a lot of amazing viewpoints in this area. I particularly like a lot of the views around Square Rapp and Avenue Rapp. Paris might be most famous for its Haussmannian architecture, but there's also a lot of Art Nouveau architecture here too. This is probably one of the most famous examples of it, and it can be found at 29 Avenue Rapp. The building was designed in 1901 by Jules Laverotte, and it actually won an architectural prize hosted by the city of Paris in 1903. If you look at the door closely, then you'll see why it was so controversial when it was created, because the motifs can be a bit suggestive. Torré Coffee Shop is a pretty good option if you're looking for a snack paired with a piping hot drink close to the Eiffel Tower. There isn't a huge amount of seating available, but luckily they do have takeaway options if there's no space to sit inside or outside. If you're looking for a pedestrianised street with lots of local producers, then you should definitely come to Rue Cler. This is where you'll find all kinds of bakeries, shops selling fresh flowers, butcher shops, cheese shops, and the like. Of course, the most famous monument to visit in the 7th Arrondissement is the Eiffel Tower, which was constructed between 1887 and 1889. The tower was initially built for the 1889 World Fair and also the centennial of the French Revolution. It's so called because it was designed by Gustave Eiffel's engineering company, and at the time it was only meant to be temporary. In fact, a lot of Parisians didn't like it, including Guy de Maupassant, who said that he used to have lunch at the top of the tower every day just so that he didn't have to see it. Today, of course, it's world beloved, and obviously it was never dismantled, so it's still here in the heart of Paris if you want to see it. Now you can obviously pay to go up it, which we're not going to do today because we don't have that long time to wait. If you want to get the best view of the Eiffel Tower, I recommend either going to Trocadero at sunrise, which we've shown in another of our videos, or alternatively coming here to the Champ de Mars, which is so cool because in the past it was used to have grand military exercises and marches and parades here. Paris has one of the oldest sewer systems in the whole world, and if you want to learn more about the wastewater system here in the French capital, you can head to the Sewer Museum. When you're wandering around the city, you'll often spot these beautiful green fountains. They're known as the Wallace Fountains and were the first ever drinking fountains here in the city. Le Bon Marché is one of the most illustrious department stores in Paris and is worth checking out just for its beautiful architecture. Even if you don't have any space left in your suitcase, it's worth noting that they often have free exhibitions on by resident artists. The Musée d'Orsay sits on the banks of the River Seine and is one of the most treasured museums in Paris. It's home to countless artworks, including things by Van Gogh, Renoir, Caillebotte, and many more amazing painters from across the world. This bridge is particularly special because not only is it pedestrianised, meaning that you can just wander around it freely, but you get a view onto most major Parisian monuments, including Grand Palais, the Louvre, Musée d'Orsay, Notre Dame, and even the Sacré-Cœur. The only thing missing is the Eiffel Tower. One of the best aspects of the 7th arrondissement is that it actually comprises part of the quays of the Seine, meaning that you get gorgeous views at sunset onto the Pont Alexandre and many other monuments that make the French capital so famous. Pont Alexandre III was actually built between 1897 and 1900 and is now considered to be one of the most beautiful bridges in the world. It's crowned by 4 golden mythical beasts and is named for Tsar Alexander III of Russia. For one of the most magical sunsets you could hope to experience in Paris, this is the spot to head to, especially thanks to its wonderful view of the Eiffel Tower when it's illuminated come nighttime. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more France travel content. See you next time.